home this year, ladies and gentlemen, we have a few tricks. And a little of the sweet taste of Civil Life beer. My daughter's here in the front row. She has no idea what is going on. I assure you it's quite confusing for a young child to see her father act in this manner. The speech will be no longer than 4 hours. And I too will need a beer. Maybe 2. Maybe 3. Maybe 4. Yeah. Hear ye, hear ye. Hear ye, hear ye. Ye, hear. Ye! Ye! Here! Ye, where are you? Ah, ye! Ye! That's coming. Ah, ye! Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, heads of state, foreign dignitaries, our excellent staff, our talented volunteers, and last but not least, the industrious, the stupendous, the superb Dylan Mosley. A sincere thank you to my dear friend Carrie Feld, who organizes our staffing for this day and is no doubt one of our best regulars. I'd be remiss if I did not thank my lovely wife Colleen, who puts up with me and the number of hours I put in trying to keep this brewery afloat and moving forward, or at least sideways. I promise to you that starting next month I will take 2 days off a month on weekends. Thank you for giving me 7 years to get that accomplished. It's not always easy running a business while trying to be a good husband and good father. In the words that E.B. White would have said if he were me, I arise in the morning torn between a desire to improve the civil life and a desire to enjoy the civil life. I'd like to thank our daughter Sabine, whose first word was burr. That's beer if you don't speak child. Furthermore, I'd like to thank my parents, Pete and Justine Hafner, who foolishly released me into this world 45 years ago. In 2001, they borrowed money against their house and loaned it to me so I could open up my first business. And that loan grew into what you see here today. I can assure you, it was no easy task to purchase that large empty cage with a gravel parking lot and plant those random decorative weeds. As the clock strikes 7 years for this little Tower Go South brewery, we must take a moment to thank those that have sacrificed parts of their livers to make sure we can continue down this path. And most importantly, we must thank Ye and Ye, 2 of our Friday night regulars. Thank Ye and Ye. Wait a minute! Stop the presses! What is that coming in? I've just received word in my earpiece. This year, the winners of the Justine and Pete Hafner Memorial Award, even though they still are alive award, are Ye and Ye! This is our first double Ye winner! Michael Bear! Please bring the cup! Michael Bear! You had one task this year! This man does not want to give up the cup! He's used the cup more than anybody ever used the cup. Most people left it at home. He took it wherever he went. Why am I still holding my hand to my ear? Oh, we have no way to share one cup other than both of you kind of holding it together.
All right.
Ye moved to this neighborhood because of this here pub. ye won't leave this neighborhood because of this here pub. There's nary a Friday night when you won't find both of them sitting side by side at this bar. They are kind, affable, and civil. We thank ye for your service to this pub and for this opportunity to serve you, Kevin, half pints, and you, Will, full pints. Please, yees, thank you for doing what you do for the Civil Life. Another old Sunday at the Civil Life. There's no place I'd rather be. With local craft beer and camaraderie, this is the place for me. I have learned more than a little in the last 7 years, but unfortunately I haven't retained any of it. What I do remember is that this small but mighty business once had big plans. 2 years ago during this speech, we notified the masses of our plans to build a bigger Civil Life. During that speech, you could see the raucous crowd holding signs that said, "Build the bar, make America drink again, and armed with beer." It was no doubt a sight to behold. A solid year passed and no progress could be seen. So 1 year ago, during this speech, we released plans to build an even bigger big Civil Life. A plan so grand that on this sacred ground, a great tower would rise above a building that could ferment 2 million barrels of beer, a helicopter landing pad, and a space observatory so Dylan could contact aliens during his lunch break. Oddly, that too came in over budget. At that point, I recall the story about building a wall on our border with Mexico. So I called up AB InBev to inform them they were going to build this bar. Well, Carlos Brito didn't seem to like that idea. I civilly informed him this bar just got 20 stories taller. Yeah, well, that didn't work out either. So here we are again. Now, in honor of what has become annual tradition, we will release plans yet again for the greatest Civil Life yet. Dylan Mosley, please unveil the plans. The suspense. Looks like a cake. Did you make the plans out of a cake, Dylan? What is my daughter thinking right now?
Caked up real good.
Yes. This is it. It's made out of Legos, ladies and gentlemen. It's perfect, and it's exactly what we can afford. It's actually to scale, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan is no slouch. There's a place here where Dave is working in the kitchen. There's a bathroom where Darth Vader is throwing up. Homer Simpson is in the pub. There's an outdoor beer garden. And Batman, for some reason, standing on the roof. Dylan, please begin working now on a new invention to shrink everyone so we all can fit in there. This will reduce our property tax, insurance, and we won't have to produce more than 20 thimbles of beer a year. But it should be lots of fun, or at least a little fun. Ladies and gentlemen, in past years, we unveiled our logo following the State of the Beer Union address. But if we are going to make this the year of the Civil Life, we have to acknowledge two important things. First of all, we have built a foundation here that is strong like ox. All of you here today are a testament to that. And second, we have to acknowledge the road that lies ahead will not be easy. It certainly will not be filled with paved roads, dancing koala bears, and fairy godmothers. The craft beer landscape has changed drastically the last few years, and this year has dealt us a year for the first time that has been less business than our past year. Dylan, please reveal the logo. It's all designed for suspense. And don't forget, 1 year it was upside down. This year's logo inspiration comes from the town of Rothenburg, Germany, and the Night Watchman tour led by one of Rothenburg's own, Hans Georg Baumgartner. In medieval times, the Night Watchman, get this, was responsible for protecting the town from fire and invasion at night. The watchman lanterns will lead the way through the town's dark streets. Our night watchman is traded in his halberd for a glorious pint of a Civil Life American brown. The Civil Life Beer Watchman is a metaphor for the challenging year that lies ahead. In this next year, things will tremendously change for the Civil Life. We will need lots of genuine Civil Life beer to lead the way. We will need light to guide us. And most importantly, we will need you to follow us down this path. Next year, we hopefully will emerge stronger than 100 oxen with 12 more beers on tap, a canning line, not 1, not 2, but 3 beer gardens, live music more than 1 day a year, more than 1 men's restroom, and a kitchen that is larger than a shoebox. Maybe. Well, with the Beer Watchman as my guide, I must now proclaim for the 7th year in a row that I, Jake Hafner, yet again throw my hat in the ring for President of the National Beer Party. I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, just like El Hombre Orange, I will not stop running for president as long as you continue to show up to this beer rally. I know I have a lot less money, probably because our hats don't sell as well. But just for the record, there is no candidate ever in the history of this here country that does more covfefe than me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be honest with you. I've spent a good deal of time the past 2 years looking up words used by our president. After consulting with some of our most proudly intellectual patrons, we at the Civil Life with civility as our guide are requesting everyone here to just throw away your dictionaries. They're all broken now. I am proud to say the English language is evolving at a rapid pace, and it's important for all of us to do our part so no kid ever again has to worry about missing a word in a spelling bee. We as a society can't continue wasting our time determining meanings for words or acting like certain letters are always supposed to come before or after other letters. It's totally preposterous. Let's let the English language flow like life in the 1960s, and let's win this battle of new words. We tristapani quadatini bidabafi. It's just that easy, everyone, to create new words. Ladies and gentlemen, the Civil Life, I assure you, has never been laughed at on an international stage, mostly because 90% of our beer is sold within 10 miles of here. It is true, we don't have a Civil Life first mantra. We want our fellow local brewers to also do well. I count many of them as close friends, and value the collective effort all of us put in to make this city a great place to drink local craft beer. In fact, the talented brewers and staff at Perennial practically spend their entire paychecks here. Sure, some may say the Civil Life leads from behind, but at least we didn't put our behind in the lead. In this year of our great business, 7th year of our great business, we the brewers, we the workers, we the bartenders, and we the regulars of the Civil Life know in our heart of hearts that if I'm going to be successful in my quest for president of the National Beer Party, we must bring everyone together behind one common purpose, behind one common goal. A goal that we, the drinkers of Civil Life, can achieve. A goal to drink more Civil Life. Everyone today is here in one of the most diverse and treasured neighborhoods in this great country of ours. This neighborhood has so many yard signs, you'd think the neighborhood has stock in a yard sign printing company. Neighbors here look out for each other. Neighbors here can be found in this pub drinking pale lagers, reddish ales, brown deer beers, and dark stouts. We, the people of Civil Life, know there is both strength in diversity of beer and strength in diversity of people. The Civil Life doesn't care who you love. We care that you love. We don't care how you identify. We care if you have compassion for others. Ladies and gentlemen, we the people of Civil Life care not how you vote, how you look. We care not about the color of your skin or where you are from. I too am an immigrant. When I was a child at the age of 3, I sat scared under my adopted parents' kitchen table and told my neighbor, Mr. Miller, that I was from outer space. Few have felt as ostracized as a child from outer space can feel. However, all joking aside, if you are from outer space, please see Dylan Mosley after the event. We, the people of Civil Life, do not claim to be some moral lighthouse for the world, nor do we claim civility as ours and ours alone. These days, it sometimes may seem that way. Be civil, we say. Be civil. Please, please, everyone, I don't want you to think I'm the son of a preacher man. My dad was an engineer. Listen, please, don't hold this against me. I like beer. My friends and I, the boys and girls, yeah, we drink session beers. Dylan, Mikey, Joey, Carrie with a Y, Troy, Carrie with an I. We drink lots of session beers, yeah. We drink session beers from the Civil Life. And sometimes probably too many session beers. And sometimes other people had too many. We make sure they got home okay. We ain't doing stupid. Sometimes we drink Civil Life beer, and we go help old ladies cross the road. And then we think about ways to help people that can't afford beer. Or can't afford a house to drink beer in. Or can't even afford $5 for an Imperial pint of Civil Life. Because people, that's what really great people do when they drink session beers. Ladies and gentlemen, this past week, millions of people on this big blue marble tuned into the Supreme Court hearings. In many homes across this land of ours, hard conversations occurred as fellow citizens heard from wives, sisters, and girlfriends, things they had been holding inside for far too long. Several of our customers have had shared stories in this here pub as well. I told my daughter that day on the way to daycare that a strong, brave woman with nothing to gain was standing up for herself and for women everywhere. That night, I also told her that strong, brave woman was also wicked good at science. I told her I hope one day Me Too gave rise to We Stopped It. It will take all of us. For those of you that have been living under a rock, or maybe like me, who are from a different planet, the Supreme Court is our highest court. And it's supposed to be a nonpartisan group of intellectuals. The issues that come before this group of 9 are not black and white issues. This country's greatest debates are in the gray areas. Bob informed me this past week, through the course of history, those places in the middle of the right and the left were the common ground. And that gave way to the term common sense. The laws of this land, not partisan divisions, are supposed to rule in the Supreme Court. 9 members, soon to be 5 on the right, 4 on the left, all aligned behind the president of the party that chose them. No middle will exist on this Supreme Court. I ask this question to all of us. What's the use of a polarizing court with people steadfast on the right and steadfast on the left? Why even send cases to the Supreme Court? We already know how they're going to vote. There's too much nuance in the United States for this type of thinking. If this is going to be the case, why do we pay the Supreme Court justices $250,000 a year? Why don't we pay them $2.50 and give them extended vacations? Allow me to control your attention for just a small moment. Please, don't look at your phone or daydream and hear me out. The divisions in this country have never been greater. We have all heard, and some of us have fallen for stories that were fake news. Who knew the bear wrestling Rushman had so many friends on Facebook? Listen to me. I understand the growing disgust this country has developed for the free press. I stand before you today saying there's nothing free about the press. As head of the National Beer Party, I hereby declare that all newspapers in this great land of ours from here to forward will not cost more than a single dime. Ladies and gentlemen, I too rely too much on my magical flashing telephonic device, and every time I do, I begin to feel that the world we live in is becoming less civil. Facebook and Twitter have caused us to dig in our heels. We put up our dukes. We barricade ourselves with those that think like us, and those that act like us, and those that vote the way we do. But isn't it time, America? Isn't it time to return to that shining city on the hill? Isn't it time we celebrate our differences? And isn't it time to once again embrace each other as Americans? Look, 4 years ago, we became the first pub in the country to make a solid effort to put dollar coins into circulation. Every time we give out a coin, the answer we need is right there written on the side. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. It was a model for this great land of ours, but the problem is it is typed so small that even an American eagle needs glasses to read it. Listen up, my fellow beer-drinking Americans. Time to turn your ears on for those of you that are rightfully flying our flag high, and those of you that recently bought ice skates, started calling our coins loonies and toonies, draped yourself in a red and maple leaf flag, and started asking for a 2-fee or a beer to go. Well, hey there, Canadian wannabe. I've got a news flash for you. You are an Americano. Out of many, one. There's no leaving now. We are all in this together. Do you have any idea how high of a tariff the Canadians just put on Americans? Out of many, one. The beer watchman leads us to the civil life. Do not despair, my comrades in consumption. All is not forsaken, all is not lost, and all of this division, all of this too shall pass. But a fear we must all share is that when this time passes, what will we have become? What will our kids say when they read in history books how we treated each other? What will our kids say if they read we didn't try to close the toxic divisions that are pushing us apart? What will they say when you tell them we instead decided to build more coal plants? I know there are a lot of people here today that believe in climate change, and others that believe science is really just magic performed in people in white coats. What will they say when they find out that instead of bringing the world together and putting our best and brightest to work solving the world's problems, that we instead pushed other beer-drinking countries like Germany away? What will they say when they hear about the day the English men and women known for drinking copious amounts of session beers were seen putting down their pints and heading out of their locals to protest our president? Ha-ha! That's fake news! The English never put down their pints! The beer watchman will guide us through these uncertain times. It's been hard for me to see the future anymore from the bottom of my pint. Probably because, due to lower than expected sales, I am in charge of keeping volumes up. But ladies and gentlemen, I figured it out. And I sadly think this part will be the hardest for most of you to hear. There's little question anymore of what can save this world we all live in. Now hear me out. What the world needs now isn't love, sweet love. We tried that crap. What we need is an Orson Welles War of the World's Alien Invasion. After much thought and much drinking, I have determined the only way that can bring us and the world back together is a common enemy. And what better common enemy than a green alien with buggy eyes? Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen, an idea so grand and so perfect has yet again come to my beer-influenced mind. If we can coordinate with Dylan and my contacts for a little alien invasion, then we, the people of the Civil Life, can begin the process to unite this divided world, and we, the drinkers of Civil Life, are just the ones to do it. But first, we must prepare. Our first mission is to create the World Beer Force. I can see it now, a flashy logo, an eagle with an astronaut's helmet on, a few rockets here and there, mugs overflowing with the sweet taste of Civil Life beer. We can't wait for Elon Musk, especially now. We don't have time for Virgin Galactic, and for God's sake, no one even talks about NASA anymore. Beer Force doesn't take some self-centered inventor driving a fancy electric car or some billionaire airline owner. Beer Force is us. We, the people of Civil Life, are Beer Force. As the proud creator of Beer Force, I must announce our goals for this coming year. We must boldly go, and we must boldly drink. And we must boldly tip our bartenders, especially these bartenders. Let the beer watchman be our guide. Please, all of you, go forth this year and ask for Civil Life at every pub and restaurant in this great city of ours. Leave no corner unturned. We are the people of Beer Force. Go forth with unbridled enthusiasm and knowledge that every time you drink of a pint of Civil Life, or here or around town, an angel gets its wings. And perhaps a sword, too. You, as a sworn member of Civil Life Beer Force, are supporting not only a brewery, but a way of life. A brewery that believes and cares about you, our employees, and our community. When you spend your hard money at this pub, you are helping us provide good-paying jobs with industry-leading benefits. A little bit of every dollar goes to the many causes we donate to throughout the year. It goes to supporting 9 full-time jobs, 3 part-time jobs, and my double, triple full-time job. And most importantly, you're giving me the opportunity to live out a dream of mine I never had growing up as an alien child in this country. You are giving me the opportunity for 30 minutes a year to believe that I could have been a famous actor. If only I could have remembered the Lions. Please seek us out. Seek out the Civil Life at Tappin' Around Town. It means the world to us when we hear you are drinking the Civil Life in other pubs and other bars, in your homes, at your events, in both good times and bad. Please be civil to each other, even when it's hard. We are living in a tumultuous moment, and so much energy is focused on what is wrong. And please realize most of what is coming out of Washington is meant to drive us apart. It won't be like that when the head of the National Beer Party takes over. I'm not here to condemn one side or the other. I was put here on Earth by my space parents to spread civility. Let's double down our efforts in this great city. We should be winning in other things besides crime statistics and high sales taxes. We have a sales tax that's higher than even New York City. It really hurts if you're trying to keep beer prices down. But it hurts even more if you're poor. Behind what you see in the news or on the flashing magical box are an army of good people working in affordable housing and community development. They're working to make this great city good and fair for everyone. I have seen them. We supplied beer for a 5K run last month in North City, put on by Northside Community Housing. I saw several of our regulars there, but next year I hope all of you go. It's exactly 4 miles from where we are standing right now, but for some of us, it might as well be on Mars. We don't need aliens to save us. We need just to open our eyes and look at our community. Please, if you do anything this year, look for the STL Best around town. Our STL Best is raising awareness for Invest STL, which has a huge chance to be a game changer for the city. Invest STL takes a step back and looks at our communities from above. It identifies their challenges, finds the assets in their community already working hard, and energizes them with investments and plans. This is something that is really easy to do. Drink STL Best and tell others about InvestTL Best. But not here today, so we're out of it. Oops. Friday night, my daughter, where'd she go? My wife and I released a monarch butterfly we raised from a caterpillar. It was beautiful. This city, this brewery in our country all need to go through a change. And I hope the change that happens is beautiful as that monarch butterfly named Larry.
Larry.
Next year, with the help of Jeannie Metzger, my mother and some volunteers, we have a goal to plant 10,000 milkweed plants in St. Louis. It's a ridiculous goal, but it's also ridiculous that we have let the monarch population decline 90% over the last 2 decades. A small amount of people have started to take notice, but this is the first time I know that a brewery has gotten involved. The beer will aptly be named God Save the Monarch. I'm going to have Joe, our trusty logo and tattoo artist, draw a beautiful picture of a monarch with a crown holding a pint of Civil Life beer. All the money earned from it will go to planting and giving out milkweed to St. Louisans so that St. Louis becomes the beer drinking city that saved the monarch. The thing I love most about the monarch is it travels back and forth between the United States and Mexico, and no $1 trillion wall will be able to stop it. Our mission for the Civil Life for this next year is getting all of you to return to this pub as frequently as ye and ye. We have so many great regulars that come to this pub. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. We owe you so much. Your conversations, your friendship, your belief that this is a public house that deserves to remain forever here at 3714 Holt. We know you need us, but we need you too. Our smile is sincere every time you arrive, and our goodbye is always a we'll see you later. The world can be a cruel place for sometimes. The world can be a cruel place at times for all of us. This world can be beautiful and wild as well. Someday, after I die, 200 years from now, I hope the world looks back on what we did here and how much we, the people of Beer Force, accomplished. I hope a big smile comes across the world's face, and I hope that 3714 Holt isn't underwater. I hope butterflies wisp across this street as thousands of people teleport in and out of this pub. I hope this city owned its past and no longer has a Delmar Divide, but has a Delmar Center. I hope they look back and remember all of us and say the people of Beer Force saved the butterfly, and the people of Beer Force saved the city, and the people of Beer Force united once again this great country of ours. We are the many, the proud, the world's first inaugural Beer Force. Go forth, my friends. We have much good to do, and we have much good beer to drink. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being part of the Civil Life. And lest I forget, this is the biggest crowd ever to attend a State of the Beer Union address, period! Ladies and gentlemen, if you need to register to vote or you need to change your address, Jolene. It's hard speaking for a half hour, believe me, especially when you don't do this. I'm not a comedian, I'm not a speechwriter. What am I doing every year? Jolene is on the side of the building. You can change your address, you can register to vote. We're gonna move the Lego Civil Life into the pub, and we'll set it up someplace. Please make sure you see Darth Vader. And one last thing, we will put up the actual plans of what will become the next Civil Life on the side as well. Thank you for being part of Civil Life. We love you. The people of Beer Force, we are united in our mission. We are steadfast in our pursuits. There is nothing that can stop us. Maybe I should have been an actor. I'm making all this up as I go.
No.